Hey, I'm Dominique with Eastline Outfitter, and I'm going to talk to you about what's actually in a live 45 ACP cartridge. So right here, you actually get a good look of the round assembled into all of its major components. This is the live round right here, and pretty much every component is laid out right in front of you. So here we actually have the primer. This is your live primer right here. If I flip it over on the back. So typically, when you're looking at a live round, you're always going to see the end piece, the flat part of the round. And that flat piece is what's usually striked by the firing pin. And the thing about live primers is that they are explosive. They are designed in a way to set off a charge. So right here we have our empty brass casing. And right where the primer pocket is exactly where the primer would fit. This is what it looks like on the inside. And here's our bullet. And this is a copper coated round nose bullet. This is a 230 grain bullet of a 45 ACP. And then we have our gunpowder. And this is kind of what gunpowder actually looks like. So pretty much, if you have the right tools to assemble the ammunition, you can seat the primer at the bottom properly. You can then load your powder. But also before you have to load the powder, you actually have to size the brass especially if it's used. Some cases when they're fired and already used, they expand at the top. This case is actually already sized and flared at the neck, so it's ready for a bullet to seat properly. And that's when you drop the right amount of powder in to have the right charge for the overall cartridge. And then you'll seat your bullet, crimp it, and then you'll have a full live round, which actually this round right here I reloaded myself. You wouldn't even know. Now if you're wondering where exactly are people getting these components individually to assemble ammunition, well, they actually sell them in like firearms stores or reloading shops or some hardware stores depending on where you live. So right here in front of me I actually have a box of primers. A typical box of primers actually come in a pack of 100, and it looks just like this. Some are packaged a little bit different, but primers go by different types of sizes actually. So this happens to be large pistol. There's other sizes like small pistol, small rifle, large rifle. Each round actually has a very specific type of primer that it takes. So you have to make sure you research that. So a full box of primers typically comes with 1,000 primers, which is, if you're really going to do some reloading and make some rounds, it's a good thing to get. Then we have the gunpowder. So gunpowder, it typically comes in a bottle like this, weighs about a pound. And this is kind of what the gunpowder, oh wait, let me get a flashlight in there. The gunpowder looks like very grainy. And also have for bullets. So I have this brand, Barry's Bullets, made in the USA, and pretty much have a box of 500 of them. So some really good quality stuff. And then for brass casings, honestly, I collect my brass. I collect other fresh brass used on like local ranges, or I buy extra brass from other buddies that have collected brass as well. Sometimes I buy brass in the store freshly new, depending on what I'm trying to do. But yeah, I just save all my brass, clean it, inspect every one of them, and reuse them properly. And that's pretty much what's inside of a live round. And one thing to know is that pretty much all modern ammunition is going to be made up of a primer, gunpowder, some sort of casing, generally is going to be brass, and a bullet, typically coated with copper or not coated with copper. There are different types of bullets and different coatings for bullets, different types of casings, different types of primers, and multiple types of gunpowder when it comes to assembling or manufacturing ammunition. If you happen to have any questions about ammunition, the components that we discussed today, please reach out to me on my Instagram or in the comment section, and I'll be glad to answer any of your questions. Thank you.